Murders at farms, finding people's bodies in a water tank.
What do you think? Today we'll be discussing 10 unsolved mysteries. Were they just murders or accidents?
Here's this first one, death by train. In the early morning hours of August 23rd, 1987, in Bryant, Arkansas, 17-year-old Kevin Ives and 16-year-old Don Henry were struck by a freight train and killed. Witnesses from the train stated that the boys remained motionless as the train approached, and the police quickly ruled it as an accident.
All right, that sounds fishy. I don't think they remained motionless.
It does seem weird that they were motionless.
Do you think you would be?
The parents of both boys pushed for the police to investigate further, and eventually a grand jury reopened the case. A second autopsy showed Don had been stabbed and Kevin had been knocked out unconscious prior to the train accident. Authorities never determined what happened to the boys that night, but their parents believed they witnessed a drug deal between high-powered officials and were killed by the police.
Funny that the police dismissed that so quickly.
Yeah, it seems like they definitely were involved in something. And it's weird that they only stabbed one and then knocked the other one unconscious.
I mean, that's what I would do.
Really?
Not really.
That's not a good thing. Don't say it like that. Stop. Okay.
You never thought riding your bike in your neighborhood could be so dangerous.
Well, somehow it was for this girl. Tara Calicio was last seen riding her bike on her usual route in the morning of September 20th, 1988. The 19-year-old and her bike both vanished, and eyewitnesses' accounts reported that a suspicious vehicle had been following her. Then in June 1989, a terrifying Polaroid picture of two young people surfaced outside a convenience store. The image showed two young people, one a male, one a female, presumably in the back of a van, tied up with tape across their mouths.
The description of the picture sounds very mild compared to what it actually looks like. It looks much more violent than it's described.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they look entirely comfortable. I mean, of course, they're in the back of a van, but still, it just doesn't.
And the weirdest part, why a convenience store parking lot?
Yeah, he could have gone, because who knows, that convenience store could have even been really small. Why wouldn't he or she gone and posted it somewhere bigger? I mean, internet wasn't a thing back then, so of course he couldn't post it on the internet, but still.
And just how did he choose that one convenience store? Just random chance?
Was it close to his house? They could have looked into that, but they probably didn't. Calicio's mother strongly believed the girl in the photo was her daughter, however. However, FBI examination was inconclusive.
Inconclusive? How did she have to push that to prove that that was her daughter? She would obviously have other photo evidence that that was her daughter.
Yeah, I feel like she would especially know what her daughter looks like. I mean, it's not like cops don't bring in people to identify dead bodies. How could you not identify somebody that was in a photo?
And I mean, the photo, to the degree of what it looks like, is being taken very lightly at this moment.
Yeah, it seems like they just don't care.
It's
another missing child. They really don't care.
Because there's so many that pop up every single day, so what's wrong with this one?
But a lot of them, if you think about it, a lot of them didn't have, pictures shown of them. This is somebody that they get a picture of from whoever kidnapped her. 2 more Polaroid photos surfaced over the years, but authorities are unsure if the images are of the missing woman. In 2009, Sheriff of Valencia County, Rene Rivera, claimed to have information on a group of boys who accidentally hit Calicio's bike with their car, panicked, killed her, and disposed of her body. Rivera stated he couldn't arrest the boys involved because he couldn't find a body.
You've stated earlier that there was a car acting suspiciously towards her bicycle, right?
Yes.
Well, if these boys accidentally stumbled upon her on her bike and accidentally hit her, why would there be witness accounts saying that there was a car pursuing her?
Yeah, that doesn't seem right, and especially they kind of know it's a van. I feel like they would know it's a van, especially since the photo shows the kids who got kidnapped in a van, but it doesn't really describe what the car is, so you don't know if it could have been these kids but I doubt it.
And also, if we're talking about the definition of a kid, why would a kid just go ahead and murder a person?
If they just hit them.
Normally a kid our age, 17 or 16,
isn't going to do
wouldn't
that.
hesitate to take them to a hospital immediately.
They're not going to think, oh, I got to murder this girl because I hit her with my car.
And that's kind of a big decision to make in such a short little time, if that's what they're estimating.
Yeah, it's very odd. Yeah. And especially since the sheriff came up with this information 20 years after that first photo was shown.
And even after the other photos have been presented to the case.
He waited so long to share this information.
So she still hasn't been found at all?
Nope, the body has not been found, but her case was reopened in 2013, but it's still unsolved currently, as of 2017.
Applying for a roommate can be an exciting thing, but it can also take the turn for the worst.
For Beverly McGowan, it turned out to be the worst. When she placed an ad for a new roommate, she unwittingly opened herself up to the hands of a career criminal. She disappeared from her home on July 19th, 1990, and her dismembered body was soon found in a Florida canal. Her head, hands, and a stomach tattoo were removed with a chainsaw to prevent the body from being identified. However, the killer missed a small ankle tattoo, which allowed McGowan to be identified.
A chainsaw?
Seems like a bit much.
A little bit. But I mean, when you think about it, they had to cut through head, arms, legs.
They had to cut through bone and
marrow on the inside.
And that stuff is pretty hard. I mean, I don't think a knife can easily cut through that.
Then again, when you think about a hunter's knife.
Still, though.
That's deer bone, not human.
Yeah, deer bone's a little bit weaker, isn't it?
But you normally associate a chainsaw with a man, right?
Yeah.
It's not just me.
Yeah, definitely.
Because normally when I think of a chainsaw, I think of like Chainsaw Massacre, just going all ham.
Yeah, definitely. McGowan's personal information like passports and credit cards were all missing, and police soon focused on her mysterious British roommate, Alice. Shortly after meeting McGowan and persuading her to provide her with her personal information, Alice murdered her and fled to England. Her true identity was revealed to be Elaine Antoinette Parent, a con artist who escaped authorities for over 12 years. She shot herself in the chest while in custody in 2002 and died before she could even be tried for McGowan's murder.
Well,
that just seems like no justice.
Well, I mean, justice was served in a way. She got her eternal punishment. It just depends on how you look at death. An eternal darkness or forever light.
Yeah.
Imagine hearing something happen on the other end of your phone call and being totally hopeless in that situation.
On April 4th, 1991, pregnant Angela Hammond stopped to use a payphone at a convenience store parking lot. She was on the phone with her fiancé, Rob Schaffer, when a strange man in a pickup truck began circling the lot. She told her boyfriend that the man had made his way next to the payphone with a flashlight as though he was looking for something. Then Schaffer heard his girlfriend's screams through the phone before the line went dead.
Well, good Lord.
Yeah.
That's a lot to take in one moment.
That'd be terrifying.
It's like I'm on the phone with my mom.
I'd be like...
And 5 seconds later, I see a guy just circling the parking lot.
That's when you would, hang up and be like, okay, I gotta go, gotta get in my car, need to leave.
Yeah, you wouldn't stay on the phone.
Yeah, I would not stay on the phone. Even if you're in a near a payphone, still,
Well,
no.
I mean, it's good to say, hey, Rob, there's a guy, and he's following me, and he's at the payphone. So, if I end up not getting away, you know where I was at. Wouldn't that make sense?
Well, he already knew that she was at the convenience store, but she could have said, what the car looked like, what the man looked like, but she didn't say that at all.
Well, honestly, in that moment, do you think you'd have, the sense in you?
Yes, I would start telling them what they look like, so if I do go missing, they know what to look for.
Some people are shocked, okay?
Some people are stupid.
Okay, fine.
Whatever. Schaffer rushed to the convenience store, and as the truck drove past him, he heard Angela screaming his name. He followed the vehicle, but his transmission failed, and his car stopped working. Angela and the man in the pickup truck have never been found, and no one has been charged for her disappearance.
So his car just magically failed.
Yeah, that seems weird.
That's very weird.
That's weird that his car just stopped.
So he's chasing her, she's screaming. All of a sudden, just the car stops.
Yeah, his car just stops automatically. That doesn't... It's weird.
That doesn't happen.
I feel like this was planned. Like, it wasn't just, oh, I'm going to steal this girl from the convenience store. I feel like it was planned that they were going to specifically kidnap this woman and
I don't think it's a random kidnapping.
Is that what you're saying? Doesn't seem random.
Yeah. Independence Day. When you think of that day, you normally think of barbecues, freedom, patriotism, death. Wait, hold on. That last one didn't fit.
18-year-old Sherry Irely, Domino's pizza delivery job, was normally an uneventful gig until the night of 4th of July, 1982. Irely ventured to a remote area in Salem, Oregon to deliver 3 large pizzas, but she was never seen alive again.
Somebody didn't like the cheese.
They didn't like the pizza.
Funny.
At the scene, police found Irely's Ford Pinto parked with the motor on and the door ajar. The boxes of pizza were on the ground and a footprint was visible across the top of the boxes.
Well, that's a waste of food.
Her hat lay just a few feet away, but Irely was nowhere to be found. Upon further investigation, police determined the address given with the pizza order was fake, and the unknown caller had given an alias.
Well, no, really. I thought he'd give him their full name and address and where he'd be burying the body.
Exactly. Like, you're not going to give your real name out.
That's like me calling the police after I murder someone. Hi, my name is...
blah, blah, blah.
And I just murdered so-and-so at the park downtown. Oh, wait, you're arresting me now? What? You found the body. How'd you find it so quickly?
That is so weird. A day after her disappearance, the police received a ransom call from an unknown person claiming they would safely return Irely if they received their money. However, the caller never made contact again. The case remained unsolved until 2007 when serial killer William Scott Smith convinced to the young girl's murder. According to Smith, he and an accomplice had planned to kidnap another Domino's employee for ransom, but Irely responded to their call instead. Irely was strangled and tossed into a river in the area. Her body had never been recovered.
Man, I'd love to be the fly on the wall hearing those conversations like, my pizza was cold. Send the girl, and I'll get her back.
Yeah.
Give me 3 more large pizzas, or else somebody gonna die.
I feel like he's breathing very heavily into the phone.
You ruined my 4th of July party for the cold pizza. Yes, I stepped on it. And yes, it hit the ground. But that doesn't excuse the lack of pepperoni.
Yeah, it's...
And you got his accomplice breathing in the other end, just like... You don't know which one you're talking to anymore, and then all of a sudden he hangs up, you go, wait, what?
Well, what just happened?
You didn't even give an amount.
What kind of call was this?
You get your math test back, expecting a near-perfect score, and a 5 out of 10 is handed to you with a smile of your teacher. Now compare that to 5 out of your 10 children missing from a mysterious house fire that was caused by faulty wiring.
Now imagine it's 1 a.m. Your parents wake up, house is on fire. These parents help get 5 of their 10 kids out of the house. The Sodder father tries to reach the other children that are upstairs in the house with the ladder that was outside. However, the ladder's missing.
How convenient.
The father tries to pull his 2 big trucks up to the window to climb the trucks and get the kids out, but both trucks will not start up.
Weird.
The father also tries to get water from the rain barrel. The rain barrel is somehow frozen solid.
Oh, and did I mention this was Christmas morning?
He tries to call the fire department, but there is no response. He tells his neighbor to call, but there's also no response. Finally, someone in the town sees the fire and goes to the fire department. The fire trucks don't arrive until 8 a.m, 7 hours after the start of the fire.
Maybe a little late.
Just a little.
Just a tad.
The fire department investigates the house and finds no bones for the 5 kids. Says that the bones were burnt to ashes. But however, that's not right since bone never burns to ash.
Funny, even when people are cremated,
yeah,
their bones are always disposed of a separate way. Because even the highest level of cremation cannot turn bones to ashes.
It seems weird. It seems like they were definitely trying to cover something
Seems convenient.
Yeah. The fire department says it was a wiring problem, but the light bulbs were still working.
Seems legit to me.
Definitely.
Yeah.
People think it was a cover-up by the law enforcement. That kind of makes sense that since it took 7 hours for the fire department to get there.
Well, I mean, they're officials, right? We have to trust them.
Yeah.
Nothing bad can happen on a chilly November morning in Norway's Death Valley, right?
Well, you'd be wrong.
Of course.
A university professor made a gruesome discovery. The charred remains of a naked woman lay hidden amongst the rocks at the end of a remote hiking trail. Surrounding the body were a dozen pink sleeping pills, an open bottle of booze, 2 empty kerosene containers, and on the woman a nasty bruise discolored what remained of her neck.
Well, that just sounds like an out-of-hand Friday night.
More like Saturday night.
Good point. Friday night. Doesn't get that lit.
Police launched an investigation soon after the discovery. They connected the victim to 2 unclaimed suitcases at a Bergen train station. Inside were clothes neatly folded with all tags removed, and a legal pad filled with encrypted messages. Upon closer inspection, police found wads of West German currency sewn into the case lining.
Sounds like a spy.
Maybe.
But then again, if she was found completely naked, why does all of her clothes untagged and folded nicely? You'd think she'd be wearing something.
Well, something must have happened.
Probably nothing good.
Autopsy results only deepen the mystery. The victim's fingerprints had recently been sanded off. Distinct dental work suggested she visited a dentist in South America.
Sounds like a Men in Black kind of thing to me. Erasing fingerprints.
With the help of Interpol, investigators produced a composite sketch. Intriguing details emerged from individuals who claimed to have interacted with the mystifying figure.
Mystifying figure? It's a woman. Well, was she a snake?
She may have looked very different, though.
Strikingly beautiful. Maybe caught the eye of a certain man.
The Isdal woman spoke several languages and used 9 different assumed identities. She had open accounts at hotels across Bergen, where she had a habit of changing rooms soon after checking in. Conflicting descriptions of hair color and style suggested she wore wigs to disguise her identity. The last sighting occurred on November 23rd when she checked out of her room at Hotel Marin. The Isdal woman paid in cash before disappearing into a taxi and was never seen again.
Yeah, sounds legit. Me, every day, changing my hairstyle. I have 7 wigs at home just waiting.
I mean, she must have really not wanted somebody to find her.
She could be on the run. Could be hiding secret information. Murder and death are tragic things. But what's even more tragic is when the murderer can be right above you.
On March 31st, 1922, in Bavaria, Germany, 6 residents were murdered with a pickaxe. These 6 residents of the home were husband and wife Andreas and Kazelia Gruber, widowed daughter Victoria and her 2 children Kazelia and Josef, and the maid Maria Baumgardner. The 2-year-old Josef was murdered in his crib, family maid was murdered in her bed, and the rest of the family was slaughtered in the barn.
That's interesting.
When they were found in the barn, they were all stacked on top of each other.
You think the killer just took one fatal swoop?
I doubt they did that.
Just one by one?
I feel like they did it separately, not let's stack them on top of each other and then let's whoop.
So you're assuming like he'd be like, okay, Jim, bring the next body, drag him on top, just set 1, 2, 3, whoop, and then.
Well, I doubt they did that either. I feel like.
Well, I mean,
they went through.
You gotta have
they
fun
probably
too, right?
went throughout the house.
I don't want to think about that.
Yeah, I don't want to think about that either.
No,
let's not think about that. The suspect was believed to have stayed in the family home after they were murdered.
What?
They know this because cows were still being fed, meals were being eaten in the kitchen, local neighbors saw smoke coming from their chimney, and the family dog was tied up outside the barn when the postman came.
Well, God, he got the work done.
That's true.
If he wanted to be a farmhand, I don't think he had to murder the family.
I don't think he wanted to be, but I think he wanted things to look normal.
What's normal about murdering 6 people?
Well,
He's not normal.
Well, for it to look like that family is still alive and everything would normally be going on.
Normal.
The bodies were found on Sunday, the day after the postman came. The family maid was just hired that day to replace the previous maid who quit 6 months earlier due to her belief of the house being haunted.
What a first day on the job.
Yeah, that kind of sucks that she got killed that day.
It really does. She's probably getting to know Yosef and everybody else, and then all of a sudden, just swing!
Yeah.
Down for the count.
Murdered in her bed. That really sucks.
Ugh.
However, the previous maid claimed she heard footsteps in the attic and voices. The family dismisses her until 6 months later, a few weeks before the murder, they started hearing the same things she heard. Mr. Gruber finds things he'd never seen before in the house, and things start mysteriously going missing. He also finds scratches on the tool shed where he kept his pickaxe.
Well.
He also discovered footprints in the snow coming from the woods to the house, but never leaving the house back into the woods.
So whoever went in the house
stayed there.
No. No. I'm out. Done. Finished.
However, it was just a murder. There was no money stolen, even though there were large sums of money in the house.
So it was just a passion killing?
Definitely a passion killing.
Oh, God, why?
You'd think they would steal money, but no.
You'd think if with a giant house like that and a big family and a big farm, you get a whole bunch of money for that land.
But they didn't do anything with it. Many believe that it could have been one specific person, which was their neighbor Lawrence Schlittenbauer.
That name.
That is a weird name. I mean, it is Germany, but still.
I mean, come on. What are you talking about? I know all the Schlittenbauers.
Schlittenbauer.
I know all of them. Good friends. No.
They believed this because Lawrence thought Yosef was his son, which was later found out that he wasn't.
Well, whose son was he then? Was Victoria just going around town?
Maybe. I doubt it, but...
Oh, my. Victoria, you had such a life going for you.
But they never figured out who truly was the murderer of this family. But they later demolished the land. Like, nobody bought it or anything, so they just demolished it.
Well, nobody bought it because it's like a memorial for death. That's like buying a house where someone died in a chair and you're sitting in the chair.
Well, people bought stuff that have been haunted. People have bought haunted houses before.
Well, I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want to live in the house.
I mean, no, I wouldn't want to live in the house either, but I don't know.
And that was 10 Mysterious Unsolved Mysteries. Leave your comments below saying, what do you think? See you next week.